Hello guys, I hope you are ready. Now, dear viewer, thank you for always tuning to this show, okay? Because this is the only show where you will get what you need. Now today, we also want to talk to you. You'd realize that life itself has got its fair shares of ups and downs. And people say struggles are there. And some people actually struggle differently. Every other person you meet, by the way, has got his or their own struggles, right? That's what we're always told, and which is a fact. But we have people who are going through more struggles than the others. Some are basically struggling to make the ends meet. Others have already met with the end. Now they are struggling with other areas of life. Now today, we want to talk to ladies and gentlemen whose struggles have been orphaned. All right, we are talking to orphans today. We are talking to abandoned children. We are talking to abandoned ladies and men who have had a fair share of struggles to reach where they are. Now that you've achieved whatever you've achieved, as a young lady, as a young man who has been orphaned or you've been abandoned for the rest of your life, the pains that you had to go through to get what you had to get is actually unsurmountable. Now today, Benjamin is going to talk to you, and you've been asking for this, by the way, orphans and abandoned children. This is what you've been asking for. Benjamin, talk to us. What are we supposed to do the moment we feel we are ready to date? Today, Benjamin is going to give you the quick instructions on what you need to do as an orphan, what you need to do as an abandoned child, just before you say, yes, I do. Hey, Benjamin.
And you know, this group, every day I feel like I'm burning when I meet kids who had a difficult childhood and they went ahead to create a hell of a marriage.
Yeah.
And, man, you can't wrap your head around it. Mm-hmm. But you can understand where they're coming from. And that's why we are here to correct them quickly. Rule number one, you always crave what you lacked. You lacked settled family life, affirmation, validation. You crave for that. So many of them grow. And remember, some of them don't have parents. Others have parents who abandoned them. Yes. Others have parents who persecuted them until they had to run. Others who abused or just neglected, you know. So if you're that kind of a child who yearned for home, you are likely to be very impatient to start it. Because you long to have a home of your own, you're likely to be, that is what was on top of your mind. And as soon as I leave home, as soon as I finish school, when I go to university, it's likely to be that yearning, that longing. And well, that is how they end up in horrible marriages. Haven't you heard somebody telling you I'm 26 and divorced? Hey,
true.
Divorced with 26.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to be starting,
you are signing out.
You get it? Whenever you see a person who is divorced at a ridiculous age, this is usually the mistake. Yeah. They rushed into marriage, into those things before they know what it takes. Mm-hmm. Today I want to describe what it takes. If you grew up longing for stability, longing for love, longing for family, if you yearn and say, when I grow up, my children, I'll make sure they have a home. You have 4 things to do.
Okay.
I'll list them so that you can remember them. Wherever you go, you are going to confuse them at your own peril. Let me remind you, my mission is to save us from misery and poverty. Mm-hmm. Knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Your first instruction when you leave home, or your first longing, if you are an orphan or an abandoned child, or you lacked the parental support. Remember, some orphans were adopted by very supportive families and they never felt like orphans. Yeah. We congratulate those families and they did excellent jobs. God bless them. But we are talking to those who did not get that kind of support. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. Your first rule is to become financially self-reliant. Please. Forget women, forget men. Jesus, I don't know how to emphasize this. Mm-hmm. You need finance before romance.
Okay.
Whatever you do, focus on getting your own income. Okay?
Yeah.
Why? Income will take you to point number 2, individuating, breaking free from those whom you are dependent on. Mm-hmm. Many orphans were brought up feeling like they're being done a favor. Those who are feeding you are not supposed to feed you. You're not their child. Some of you felt like it's charity, and they felt it's very, to overdo the chores, to justify, to try and repay, but try and contribute to the dynamic so that they don't look like a burden. They silenced their voice. They hushed. They tried to maintain peace so that they're adopted in a family that has all its own chaos. And they keep trying to wonder, am I the cause? Am I burdening them? The first rule is finish the diploma, finish the degree, get the skills that you can sell and get some money on yourself. Rule number 2, get a small home, a house, single room, bed sitter, with a bed and a jiko Bramwell. Some people know more children take for granted. Your first task, never remove clothes as an orphan, never have sex, never risk pregnancy. You're caught in disaster. Many of them think they will get extinct if they don't get children quickly. Imagine, that's why orphan boys marry quickly. If I die and I'm alone, my lineage will be finished. They rush to get babies over here so they don't get extinct. There's another thing that can extinction you, lacking your own finances. So number 1, finish that degree and force your belt to remain tight. Buy a padlock for the zip. You must. Do what you... Brahman, let's mind ourselves. Temptation, sin stands at the door.
Yeah.
It desires to finish you, but you must learn to master it. The temptation to go the wrong way will always be around. You're the one who decides which route you want. And stick on it. Stick on it. Let me remind you again. The first rule is to get marketable skills. The second rule is to individuate. Stop depending on anyone. Get a small house of your own, where you can sleep, eat, and sleep. Cook, eat, sleep. That basic thing. In Job 3, it says, there the prisoners sit together. They do not hear the shouts of the oppressor. He was longing for a place of peace. There the captives sit together. People used to be captured. Now they are free. They sit together. They don't hear the shouts of the oppressor. When you are an orphan, sometimes you have heard shouts. You have heard the commands, been ordered around, been given instructions and control. You need a house where you can't hear the shouts of the oppressor. You need a house where you can cook rice, cook food, and just sleep. It's very relieving for a person who has never known calm to have their own house. Don't move in with anybody. Don't cohabit with a lover. Don't do any of that stupidity. It will cost you dearly. Many, when they run from the troublesome home, they usually run to a man.
Yeah.
Disaster. Disaster. Don't do that. Don't dare it. Hustle with your hands. Get a small house you can pay and get inside there and sleep. Yeah. If you don't understand this language, be happy you don't understand it. You're being spared that kind of agony.
Yes.
So the second thing is individuation. The first thing is income. The second thing is individuation. The third thing is healing. The trauma, the rejection, the self-pity, the lack of identity, the lack of ambition, the struggle, the survival affected your psychological landscape, your psychological makeup, how you view the world, how you see yourself, what you deserve, who you are, what you are worth, what can you hope for, what do you deserve, how much should you earn, what lifestyle, which life, what am I for, who is God, where is my life going? Those questions need to be answered, brother. That is your number 3, and it is mandatory. Never skip it. Seek healing to know, to remove these layers of pain, layers of rejection, layers of hopes, of wishes. Why me? Why me? Deal with the why me. Go somewhere, cry with a therapist. And I have respected many orphans who have worked with me, paying once a month. When they are paid, they use part of it to come for healing. Man, I've respected that. I've respected that, man. And I can tell you to years. You will be in a world where when you are 24 and you are single, they are saying you are growing old.
Yeah.
We are living in a twisted culture that worships marriage and getting children, and then they don't value your mental well-being. Number 3 is your internal well-being. Internal well-being. Get therapy, get coaching. Go and deal with the layers of rejection and regret and projections. You can't handle romance and love and relationships or parenting and the pressures of marriage when you are so messed up. You can't. Don't attempt it. You mess up. You just complicate your life. All right? Let's repeat the 3 steps because they are do or die.
Yeah.
Number 1, work your back off until you get that degree and hustle until you get that job. And never remove your innerwear until you're there. Get that job. God always helps the orphans, funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'm the father to the fatherless.
Yes.
Trust God when you have no parents and you pass interviews where you should have failed. Keep hope alive. Get that diploma for yourself. Even when you're studying, look for things by the side. Approach the guy who runs the printing business over there. Tell him, I don't have people at home to support me. I need to give you a few help. You give me the little, you can give me a buy food. Many people will be very happy to help. Imagine. I wanted some side hustle. I can use online writing. You understand?
Yeah.
The second thing, stop depending on being accommodated, being fed. Get a small house for yourself where you can feed yourself. If you can start feeding yourself, what is the meaning? It means now you can come home and then go to your house. It does not mean luxuries. Maybe a younger sibling who was also homeless. Mm-hmm. Now you have somewhere, both of you can come in and sit quietly without hearing the shouts of the oppressor. Mm-hmm. Number 3, internal healing. Go for therapy. Your journey might have injured you badly. And you only see life from a dangerous, insecure point. Mm-hmm. That the way my parents left, anybody can live. You might grow feeling very lost. And you could have a very big destiny like Esther. Mm-hmm. But the parents died. Is Mordecai taking care of you? A cousin. Yeah. Sometimes the correction that God sends in your life comes in unexpected people. Mm-hmm. But it's never love at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. Remember, because you long for a father figure, you're likely to date older man. It's a guy, older women. Because they look like father figure. The boss at work. The person who helped you here and there. Your emotions are likely to run out. You must seize them and control them. The biggest reason the enemy removes your parents is to get you so vulnerable and confused that you make decisions that ruin your destiny. Remember that. Remember that. Keep that at the back of your mind. What is being fought over is your destiny. Mm-hmm. The real battle is your calling on earth. The Israelites Esther was to save. The Jews she was supposed to save. Keep that at the back of your mind. Keep the fact that Mephibosheth survived when they were being killed to come and serve in the kingdom. But his self-esteem was so crushed, he saw himself as a dead dog. Yeah. And he never served any purpose. Remember that. So when you seek healing, you do another thing. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now you determine the purpose of your life. Mm-hmm. Dating is 50th thing. We were starting with the 4 that are mandatory. Yeah. Now you no longer you forgive the people who mistreated you. You've gone to therapy. Step number 3, internal healing. You determine I don't know why they died. I'm just, but I'm happy I'm here. And, I forgive myself. I no longer feel guilt. I struggle with anger. I struggle with shame. Sometimes I feel self-pity. I'm overwhelmed at work. Sometimes I feel like people don't acknowledge me enough. Sometimes I'm stressed because somebody said something about me. I'm not able to quite handle criticism. No. You're likely to have a lot of emotional imbalances. Mm-hmm. You're taking time and investing into healing it. When you have healed the wound, now set your sails. Mm-hmm. That is the last step before you go to dating. You determine, what do I want to accomplish with my life? Mm-hmm. Slightly different from healing. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Healing was addressing the history. This one is addressing the future. Mm-hmm. Set the purpose of your life. How do you set the purpose of your life? God will give you direction as you pray, as you read the Bible. Also, do personality tests to know what you're made of. Mm-hmm. Your strengths. That before you've been driven by survival. Now you want to change a mode to be driven by success. Determine what you're worth as a worker. Determine what you deserve as an employed person. Determine what you can't take. Determine where you must reach. Determine where you must go. The funny thing with most of the things we're discussing here is they may look small, but they are like setting your compass, your instrument when you are at the harbor.
Yeah.
By changing it by 5 degrees, you can go to India instead of Japan, you can go to this instead of the other, because you are starting life. Any calibration you are doing now will go multiplying over life.
Mm-hmm.
Brahman, by the time you finish setting your purpose, that one you need a life coach, you need a counselor to help you with your passions, your journey in life, what you really want to do. Maybe the job you are doing now is not even your passion, you just needed it to start off life. Mm. Maybe you want to be a counselor, you want to run your own children's homes, to rescue the poor, to rescue the needy. Maybe you want to be a doctor. Maybe you want to be a pilot. The things you have in mind. Maybe you even want to live in Germany. Mm-hmm. Do you know that people have forfeited their Germany dream because they had a boyfriend here?
Yes.
Hi, brother. The madness of under 25 dating or premature dating, they forfeit their calling. They forfeit better lives to remain emotionally entangled to a man. If you listen to the prices people pay, you'll be amazed at it. Mm-hmm. So this is what we're saying. One of the problems you find is that other people are getting married 25, sometimes 27. You as an orphan, take your time. Take your time. You come to date when you have known the purpose you want to serve on earth. Mm-hmm. Now you date a person whose journey in life and yours are similar. Who agrees with the targets you have set for your life. Who, upon talking to them, you can hear that they can accommodate what you're becoming. Mm-hmm. If you date before you reach this point, Brahman, people will date you out of pity. You'll end up dating people who are validating your pathology. Mm-hmm. People who are good for your self-pity. People who are good for your safety, sense of safety. It's a father figure, mother. If you don't start with healing, if you don't start with your own income, come to individuation, come to internal healing, and now you come to your purpose in life. If you don't address this first, everybody you date will be in your life for the wrong reason. Mm-hmm. And you yourself, you'll have nothing to offer to the person except insecurities, neediness. Hey, let me tell you, all orphans, and I keep feeling so sorry for them, they come round when they're being damaged more. Narcissists and sick people look for needy people. Yeah. Who can't see things clearly. Mm-hmm. Who can be manipulated and the emotions are all over because they can't see things clearly. So this is the solution. Once you have determined the life you want, you've worked on your guilt, self-condemnation and shame, and you're fairly confident now, your self-esteem will continue to grow through life as long as you have dealt with the pain, forgiven, released, let go, adjusted, accepted your journey in life. Now you can continue to build yourself. Healing is not perfection, it's stopping the bleeding and stopping the pain so that you can continue growing. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. And then you've come to decide, I think I would like to be a sensational teacher. I don't just want to teach normally. I would like also to run I want to be a business person. I would like to run many businesses. Oh yeah, I think I want to be a farmer, a large scale farmer. Okay, right now I may not be having so much money, but I set it in my mind. I want to do bee farming. I want to run an audit farm. I want to be an international journalist. I want to be the best. Set the life you want. I feel like God created me on earth to help the needy, to have a big business, to be an innovator. I want to develop the best software. Never date until you get there. Let's remind people. When you marry before you set your dreams, you have to forget the dreams to remain married.
Yeah.
The person did not come to be a custodian to the dreams. You just married them. They're not likely to be a backup to support those dreams. Mm-hmm. Strongly. Don't marry before you reach that point. Mm-hmm. What if you're feeling like you found the one, you understand each other? Hey, process. Obey process. Once you get there, you want the life you want. Now, the fifth thing is now searching consciously in the right way. Don't move in, don't cohabit, don't have sex, don't get pregnant, don't do things. Date the right way with no strings attached until you meet a person who is at that level. Let me conclude by telling you that the journey of not having parents can become the strongest motivator in your life. Mm-hmm. because it happened, you can make good use of it. It can become the thing that gives you motivation to make sure you help those who are in similar situations, to make sure you don't expose your children to similar, situations. It can be a draw. Yes.
I like that, Benjamin, and your passion in this, because this is coming at a time whereby our viewers have been asking for this. Remember, we've been mentioning about this in our previous shows. Now, Benjamin, I'll begin with the first point you said about the financial stability, which is very, very essential, Benjamin. You see, you'd realize that I need to work hard to be stable financially, as you said. Very, very important. But again, you'd realize that the very thing we are pursuing, at some point, it might turn against to work. It might turn to work against us.
Right.
All right? I keep my mind on the financial stability. I get stable financially. But in the process, I forget one purpose, one aspect, that I have been developing certain patterns in the process that will make me so hooked to my money, to the extent that even when I meet this right girl, after all those stages that I've gone through, I still hold on those previous patterns that I've had to go through. My money. I've worked hard.
And the one thing that orphans have to deal with is fear. Fear of the worst.
Yeah.
Maybe they have seen the worst, they have seen the fear extinction, they fear ending up in the streets, they fear being exploited, they fear being taken advantage of. That's why you went for healing. You were going for healing so that the coach, the counselor can sense you're too cautious. You're lacking, you're not allowing people to prove to you who they are. So if you sense that we cling on to money to justify security that we know about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Remember, when you say financial security or having income, I did not mean wealth. Wealth takes time to build, bro. You can't stay until you are rich. We're talking about enough to pay your bills. It can be a salary of 10,000. It can be a small amount. We could be talking about $100. $200. We're talking about ability to pay your bills and live on your own. Not wealth. Wealth takes time. Remember that. Don't wait for wealth. Number two, you're looking for a man with whom now you can build wealth together. You need a person who thinks alike, who thinks like you, and that you should have the reason after the income, you go to individuation, your own house where you're not going home to anybody's. Number three is internal healing, where you go now deal with the ability to trust, ability to be with a person, ability to unite, ability to form an intimate connection. The problem with people who have been so afraid and tortured is if they don't deal with the trauma, it will affect how they can trust and form relationships. Yeah. Once you realize you are afraid of trusting, afraid of this, afraid of the other, stay in the healing until you are healed. Yes.
And how will I know that I'm fully healed? Because sometimes we tend to assume that now I am ready.
I'm okay. Sometimes when you have improved, you may think now you're okay.
Exactly.
And then you stop taking the medication. The doctor gives you medication for 7 days, but after 2 days,
you
no longer
okay?
feel the headache. Obey the doctor's instructions. All right? First, one thing you will know you are healed is that you don't react to triggers like you used to. When somebody doesn't respond to your message, you don't get panicky or angry. You understand? They can also be busy or they have lost interest. And that doesn't work you out. You know you are healed from your normal relationships and friendships. When you realize, how come I did not give that person a piece of my mind? As I would have done before. I'm becoming more self-controlled. I'm becoming more accepting of people's choices. I'm becoming more balanced. It's observing how you are improving in your social relations. Yes.
And for those ladies and gentlemen who have already found themselves in this mess, they rush to settle down, hoping that is where they'll find shelter. That is where they'll find love. They're already there. Is there hope?
Go back to the junction.
Jeremiah.
And ask where is the right way. Yeah. As long as you are alive, there's always hope, brother. Only that it will cost you time and more pain and all that. But now that you know the process, you had skipped to get him. Go back. Earning your own income. But to become individuated on your place, internal healing, defining the purpose of your life, the path you want to follow. Where? How high? What you're worth, what you should be paid. Who are you as a person? The kind of respect you want, the kind of dignity and integrity. If you don't decide those questions, you will date a he-goat or a woman who is calling you names, insults, pulling you down, damaging the little self-esteem you had remaining. And it will be difficult for you to work out because you feel like you are working out from the only thing that gives you meaning. Don't get meaning from family. Get meaning from who you are, your God, your purpose in life. Let family be a blessing. So that even if the person you married died, left, abandoned you, you're still not crushed or lost. Yes.
What about those cravings, Benjamin? Because you've talked it, yes, but these people have a high tendency to actually gravitate towards the very things they are craving for. You see someone who looks like your mom.
And you fall in love.
And you fall in love.
Because you miss your mom. The reason you're going for that healing is to go and identify what you're likely to be tempted by. Temptations only control you before you identify them.
Yeah.
They control you because they are out of view. You know, it's like an animal underwater, you can't see it. Once you realize, I'm likely to be attracted to this kind of people. Now you are aware. Now you examine, could it be my craving coming back? You start fantasizing a person, you realize, okay, that is always a problem of mine. And you force yourself to go another direction, the person falls out of your mind, you go to identify some of the things you never quite corrected. You can only control them. Okay? Primarily, there's some weaknesses that will always be at the door, seeking to devour you.
Yeah.
The devil designs temptations from our own weaknesses, man. From your journey in life, man. And in fact, one of the responsibilities of men, I will keep telling them, is to know what kind of women are likely to tempt you, so that you see them from far and stay away.
Yeah.
There are others who don't tempt you that much, but there are others who, even when they're not trying, you're already falling in love. Be aware. Somebody just shows up and you're already struggling to resist. You know. Remember that the journey has shaped your psychology in a certain way, it has shaped your thinking in a certain way, and you must learn how to lay hold on where the gaps are. You can always observe yourself, you know your patterns, and you want to stay on the track. Yes.
There's a time we did a show about black man tax, Benjamin. So this group we are talking to, you'll realize, yes, I've obeyed the stages that you've taken us through, and I believe that, yes, I am there. I really want to date. But when I look behind, I feel there is a big gap that I need to bridge, but in terms of my siblings. You see, I have to fend for them. I have to pull them and then reach wherever I've reached. Then think about settling down. We have those people who have given themselves those kind of...
We say when you have a family, you have adapted.
Yes.
when you have to parent, don't stop your dating because you're parenting. Once you feel now you're ready to get a mate when they know you're also playing roles at home. They could also be playing their own. Are we together? Learn how to arrange your life concurrently. In fact, one of these days you should warn firstborn daughters.
Yeah.
They fall into that problem a lot. Firstborn children, both daughters and sons, you find that they may feel so responsible that the rest of their life force passes by. Now, what we don't realize and what we don't know is you can actually parent, start your own family as you assist your family. Just divide your attention, divide your resources appropriately. They will grow and become independent. Maybe by then you will also be 5 years into your own family, 10 years into your own family. And some of the people you're assisting are not even that longing to stand on their own. They may never get help, really. You're going to try and they're still wasted. One of these days, remind me, we tell people why in many families you find that there is only one boy and he's useless. There are daughters and then there's one son.
By that is true.
And he's a trouble child.
Yeah.
You know. One of the reasons, because he was pampered, given a lot of attention, treated like he's delicate, treated like he's special, and parents think this is the only one. No. So he gets that sense of specialness, entitlement, like things will go, he'll always have support. Some of the parents have been longing to get a son. They finally got a son, they overloved, overspoiled.
Yeah.
That they did not shape and prepare him for the real harsh world. Okay? And the girls also see him as our only boy, so they send money, send help, send our boy, our there. He has excess pocket money. He starts using drugs. The cartels notice that he has a lot of float there in school. So they give him suggestions what to buy. So they behave friendly because he can finance.
Yeah.
He has more pocket money than he needs. Many boys who are the only one, the first problem where they go wrong is they get treated as if they are somehow special. Love your child, whatever bad the position they are in, but don't shelter them from the reality of life. Don't over give. Don't over spoil. Prepare them for realities of life. So do not delay your dating too long, saying you are taking care of your family. Your life should run concurrently and respond to season. When a season comes, shift gears. Go with the season. Maintain flexibility. Yes.
Now, for those who have not been orphaned, now these are ladies who have not been orphaned, but now they're looking forward to, they've been approached by a guy who has been orphaned or abandoned for one reason or the other. You see, they are looking forward to settling down or to start this dating journey. But this lady feels that this guy needs some room for improvement. But again, the guy is not ready to receive such kind of comments.
Do you know, if you date a person and you're aiming high and they're not aiming where you are aiming,
Yes.
they are not meant for you. Don't date with charity mindset.
Thank you.
Don't try to take people where they don't want to go. Don't try to oversell your mission, hoping you persuade Bramwell to go with you.
Yes.
Be ready to know that Bramwell may not be, maybe he's not interested.
Yeah.
Even if you had hoped to build a family with Bramwell and you have seen he's not, he may just wanted to hang around. Even if you try to persuade a sleepy person to accompany you, themselves, they will never lift the weight. You will have to carry everything.
Yeah.
Do you want that kind of journey?
No.
Thank you. As I told you, if people follow the process I've described, many of them will end up being very high achievers. As we said again, high achievers can only marry other high achievers. Highly driven, conscious people, wanting to make their life counts, wanting genuine happiness and fulfilling lives, wanting to serve humanity with their gifts and please God and make sure their life makes a difference. That kind of mindset can only marry that kind of mindset. Never marry a reluctant person when you are a driven person. It will tire you. You will carry a human being for so many years and get tired.
Yes. And then the aspect of sympathizing these kind of people. Okay, I know. You see, you start rationalizing. Maybe if I reject them, they will feel bad. So you start sympathizing.
Especially if they're telling you you are the only person who understands them.
Exactly.
You are the one who has made a difference in their life. Those kind of compliments are important, but they should not become dependencies. Once you sense that a person is becoming too attached to Bramwell, mercifully do that connection or euthanasia. Mercy kill you. Once you sense that they begin to see you, and you can see exaggeration, you can always see this person has yawning psychological needs.
Yes.
They're transferring their need for a father onto you. They're calling you big titles. You can always see. So never marry out of sympathy. You need a person whom you're on the same level, you're searching for the same thing, and most importantly as a man, don't sleep with that girl. You're planting your seeds in a place you have not owned yet, and you'll be forced now to buy the farm.
Yeah.
You might be tied there and you complicate your life. Let me also warn you that childhood trauma can cause narcissism and pathology. Some people, instead of healing, that becomes their attitude and their approach to life. They don't trust anyone. They know people like that. They don't change. They become aggressive. I must defend myself. I have been taken advantage of. Flashes of my hair. They become so aggressive. That some who don't heal. That becomes their life. Yes. Be very careful. Don't rush to marry people out of sympathy. They might turn to snakes. Might turn to people who are too toxic. Self-pity. Other self-pity. I know you might. I know people always leave. People always leave me. Self-pity. You can't build anything with a person you have to lift. If you feel sorry for beggars because of their situation, you drop a coin and keep going. Don't carry them home.
Yeah. Thank you. Please don't carry them home. Utmost rationality. That is what Benjamin has always been talking about, by the way, dear ladies and gentlemen. Life is a choice. And if you follow the procedure that Benjamin has said here, you're going to ensure that you become that high achiever. Remember, even on the negotiating table, whatever is not placed on the table should not be included in the pricing. There you have it. Thank you for watching the Benjamin Zulu Show. Till next time.